Translation, it's not only that you are translating, you have to, as somebody once said, you are translating a symphony which was maybe on a violin and onto a guitar. So both of them are beautiful in their own way, but there is a loss in translation. So the nuances, you have to understand the nuances of both the languages.
It is kind of a liberation of an author, a book, a culture, the entire landscape, the entire history of the landscape where the work is produced into one or many languages. So it's like opening a horizon for a work and or offering another piece of terrain for a work to become another tree.
There's been a long tradition of translating fiction. There's also been a long tradition of translating poetry, plays which both get performed in various languages, but the tradition of translating knowledge from Indian languages into English or even other Indian languages has been both a recessive practice and also something which has been not really found interesting institutional supports, publishing supports, and therefore the initiative of the New India Foundation to create a possibility for multiple languages to translate their intellectual tradition into English is immense.
Fellowships, they are going to be able to make it a little competitive and draw new people. You have to find a new talent. People who have not done translation of non-fiction should now be drawn to it for whatever reason. Either because they are interested or because they want to learn something new or because, there is some support for it. For whatever reason, if new people should come in. So this is the next step.
NIF is doing a great job by introducing this translation fellowship, and particularly its emphasis on the translation of non-fiction is something that we must cherish, we must appreciate, because knowledge texts usually don't get translated into English. So the impression gains ground that in various Indian literatures, in regional literary traditions, we don't produce knowledge, but this is not true. Knowledge is produced in various languages in India, and we shouldn't only concentrate on translating fiction or poetry or plays. We should also showcase our knowledge traditions through translation. So this will give translators a great opportunity.
I'm delighted to announce that New India Foundation will be starting the applications for the second round of its translation fellowships. We did the last round about a year ago, and this round of applications open from September 2023, and they'll remain open till 31st of December. So the Translation Fellowships meets one of the core objectives of the New India Foundation, which is really to be able to get us to understand the making of modern and contemporary India so much better. And this is best done, we believe, from a variety of perspectives, not bound to any one particular discipline, any one particular intellectual vantage point, let alone any one particular ideology. We are, first of all, looking for people who can straddle the divide between, Indian languages and English. But we are also hoping that, to get translators who are intimately familiar with those texts, who in some senses have lived with those texts and who believe that those texts have shaped their lives. Because in some sense, it's not just translation in terms of linguistic translation, but we also want them to carry the charge of those ideas, of that culture, into a very different cultural context, so that we then become part of a much wider and more diverse conversation.